We really all want to get back to normal. But you need to understand something. To get back to normal in America, it's just not normal. It is not normal to have a society founded on the principles of freedom and liberty.
Is life so dear and peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God! I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death!
Where liberty was understood as the right to be responsible to do what is good and just before God. This is not normal.
Against that? No! We will run! And we will live. Aye. Fight and you may die. Run and you'll live. At least a while. And dying in your beds many years from now, would you be willing to trade all the days from this day to that for one chance, just one chance, to come back here and tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom!
It is not normal to have a society founded on the principles of freedom and liberty. This is a gift of God. It is not normal to have freedom of religion. According to Pew Research, 70% of the world's population lives without religious freedom. Dictatorship is what is normal for most of the world. It is not normal to have freedom of religion. But by the grace of God, it has been a reality here in America. It is not normal to have freedom of the press. According to freedomhouse.org, only 13% of the world's population has freedom of the press. But by the grace of God, we in America were blessed with the belief that people should be free to preach, speak, and state what they believe. Thomas Jefferson said, "If a nation expects to be ignorant and free in a state of civilization, it expects what never was and never will be." Freedom of the press exists so that the people can be free to speak what they believe, that they may know the truth. Jesus said, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." This has never been normal, but in America, it was a reality. It is not normal to have a representative republic based on democratic principles, where the people choose their representative leaders and send them to make good laws to govern the people. According to the annual Democracy Index, only 19 out of 195 countries have a true democracy. But by the grace of God, America has been blessed with a Christian understanding that Jesus Christ is our perfect representative before God his Father. And his rule and his reign has been communicated to the churches, and he's taught the churches that elders stand in a representative role for the people. And Jesus Christ has shown this to fathers, that fathers stand in a representative role with their families. So the culture of America was saturated with representative rulers who were submitted to Jesus Christ and brought God's gracious rule, God's loving rule to the family, to the church. And that's what set the cultural context for representative rule in the state. This truly has been a wonderful blessing for America. In 1787, Benjamin Franklin was asked, "What kind of government are you giving us?" To which he replied, "A republic, if you can keep it."
It is no small thing to build a new world, gentlemen. We have our republic. We must endeavor to keep it, if we can.
A representative republic is anything but normal. But in America, it was a reality. It is not normal to be governed by the rule of law. What is normal is to be governed by tyrants, by kings, and by the ruling elite. But by the grace of God, we in America, because of our Christian heritage, believed that God was the sovereign ruler over all, and that submission to His law was the highest form of moral obligation, and that by obeying God's good moral law revealed in the Holy Scriptures, the greatest blessing on earth could be achieved, and that was obedience to God. This certainly set the religious, philosophical, and theological context by which the rule of law flourished in America. This certainly has been a tremendous blessing for the American experiment of liberty.
I see a new nation ready to take its place in the world. Not an empire, but a republic. And a republic of laws, not men.
Sadly, the Rule of Law Index states that today, America has dropped out of the top 20 nations that are governed by the rule of law. This is important because the rule of law is the safeguard of all of our liberties. The rule of law is perfectly summarized in the Ten Commandments, the very thing people reject today. We must get back to the rule of law, and we must understand that the rule of law flows from the rule of God, according to Scripture. It was George Washington in his farewell address who said, "It is impossible to rightly govern a nation without God and the Bible." It is impossible to rightly govern a nation without God and the Bible. The rule of law is not normal, but in America, it was a reality. America has been blessed with free market enterprise. This is anything but normal. But by the grace of God, America was blessed with what used to be called the Puritan work ethic. An ethic that established man in a proper relationship with work, in a proper relationship with the earth, and a proper relationship in society. A relationship that is fundamental to the free market system. A relationship that is given in the very opening chapters of the Bible in Genesis 1:28, where God says, He blessed them and said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply and have dominion over the earth and subdue it." This puts man in a right relationship with the earth and gives him the blessing to have children, to be productive, and to work and eat the fruit of his labors. This is a fundamental right. It's a fundamental act of worship to God. The founding of this nation was built on a strong Puritan work ethic, where man was right related to God, to the creation, and to the society. This was an opportunity for great blessing as God blessed men to use their unique gifts and abilities to produce things, to trade, to exchange, to buy, and to sell. This is the freedom principles contained in Scripture. The Bible is a foundational blueprint for blessing economically, socially, politically, you name it. All Scripture for all life gives us the very essence of God's liberty as revealed to us in the Scripture. Free market enterprise is just an outworking of the freedom given to man in His Word. This free market approach has resulted in the poor, the sick, and the needy receiving the help they need by having the dignity of work restored to them along with the fruit of their labors. This is what has resulted in untold blessing for millions. This has been the blessing of the free market enterprise in America. Is this normal? Not at all. Government control, manipulation, covetousness by others. Rather than working, they want to covet and steal and take what is not theirs and redistribute the wealth. Socialism built on envy. This is what is normal. America has been anything but normal. If you want to return to what was normal in America, we, the people of America, must remember that America has been anything but normal. We must remember our past so that we can have vision for our future. We can return to the normal when we are ready to do the abnormal. And that is only by the grace of God. May God bless America.